Whispers Around the World, a Heal Our World book from SufferingWell, Chapter 21, In the Apostles' Wake. In their next Zoom call, Fred's face was animated as soon as he appeared on the screen. "Ken, I've been thinking. Rhonda and I have talked it over and we want in. We'd like to help you make this dream a reality. Imagine the two of us traveling these routes with you, supporting you however we can." Ken blinked, momentarily speechless. Fred paused for a second. "If you're willing to have us." "You're serious, Fred? That's incredible. I can't believe it. Having you and Rhonda along would be more than I ever imagined." Fred smiled, nodding. "We're serious. Rhonda's already talking about the research he could do on the local history, and I'd love to help organize the logistics. Plus, we'd be able to study God's Word together, right where Paul preached. It's the opportunity of a lifetime." Ken's face broke into a grin, his excitement barely contained. "Fred, this is a gift straight from heaven. I'd imagine doing this alone, but with you two on board, we can take this vision even further. We could reach more people, create a community of believers who support each other even after the journey ends." Fred nodded, sharing the enthusiasm. "It's amazing how God brings people together, isn't it? We start as strangers, and here we are, planning a pilgrimage that could change lives. Let's start making it happen, Ken." They continued talking, their ideas building on each other, each word adding to the dream that had now become a shared calling. Together, they envisioned not only a journey through the Mediterranean, but a deeper journey of faith, one that they could invite others to join, forging friendships and growing in the love of Christ with every mile they sailed. Steps to planning our sailing pilgrimage through St. Paul's missionary routes. Research and itinerary development. Map St. Paul's journeys. Study the specific passages in the book of Acts that outline Paul's missionary travels. Note each location he visited and plot them on a map of the Mediterranean. Identify key locations. Focus on major stops like Cyprus, Ephesus, Corinth, Athens, Malta, and Rome. Research historical sites and modern equivalents for these places. Route planning. Determine the best sailing route to follow St. Paul's footsteps, accounting for practical sailing considerations like prevailing winds, seasonal weather, and docking points. Cultural and historical context. Research the cultural and historical backgrounds of each location to provide participants with deeper context about St. Paul's life and ministry in these areas. Spiritual preparation and Bible study curriculum. Develop a thematic Bible study. Plan a curriculum for each location focusing on specific themes from Paul's teachings. For example, courage, perseverance, grace, spiritual warfare. It might be appropriate to bring Patty and Bill in on this. Daily devotionals. Create a set of daily devotionals or reflection guides for participants to use throughout the journey, allowing them to engage personally with the material. Local spiritual leaders. Reach out to churches or ministries in the regions along the route to connect with local leaders who can share unique perspectives on the Christian history of each place. Logistics and practical planning. Charter a suitable vessel. Research charter options that can accommodate a small group for an extended journey. Look into costs, available amenities, and any special considerations for Mediterranean sailing. Budget and funding. Create a detailed budget covering vessel costs, fuel, docking fees, supplies, and accommodations for nights spent ashore. Consider funding options, such as seeking out sponsors or setting up a group payment plan. Permits and sailing licenses. Research and obtain any necessary permits, licenses, or certifications required for sailing the planned routes, especially for international waters. Health and safety. Ensure there are safety measures in place, including medical supplies, emergency protocols, and trained personnel on board. Marketing and participant recruitment. Outreach to potential participants. Create an intense list by sharing the vision with friends, family, churches, and online Christian communities. Plan for a small, manageable group of participants. Information sessions. Host informational Zoom sessions to answer questions and gauge interest. This will also help refine the itinerary and curriculum based on feedback. Digital presence. Set up a website or social media page for the pilgrimage, sharing details of the trip, the spiritual themes, and personal testimonies to attract participants. Pre-trip orientation and training. Participant briefing. Provide participants with reading materials, historical background information, and spiritual preparation guides several weeks before departure. Sailing basics. Offer basic sailing information for those unfamiliar with life on the water, covering what to expect, safety protocols, and how to engage with the experience spiritually. Cultural sensitivity training. Educate participants on the cultural norms of the regions they will visit to ensure a respectful and enriching experience for all. Let them know about clothing requirements for the places we will visit. Engage local Christian communities. Coordinate with local churches. Plan visits to local churches, monasteries, or Christian communities for fellowship and insight into the local Christian heritage. Invite local speakers. Where possible, invite local pastors, historians, or missionaries to speak to the group, enhancing their understanding of St. Paul's impact on the region and provide a financial or prayer boost in these ministries. Service opportunities. Identify possible service or outreach opportunities in one of the communities we visit, allowing participants to actively engage and give back during the journey. Onboard activities and reflections. Daily group devotions. Start each day with a shared devotion or prayer time, setting the spiritual tone and fostering a sense of community. Themed reflections. Assign each day a theme based on Paul's teachings with corresponding scripture passages and reflection questions to discuss as a group. Journaling and personal reflection. Encourage participants to journal daily, documenting their spiritual insights, prayers, and any personal revelations throughout the journey. Leave space in their journals for pictures they'll print later. Post-pilgrimage follow-up. Debrief sessions. Plan a few post-trip Zoom calls to allow participants to share their experiences, insights, and spiritual growth, creating a sense of closure. Provide training for sharing their experience at church and in clubs. Testimonies and media sharing. Invite participants to share photos, journals, and testimonies on a website or social media platform, inspiring others and building interest for future trips. Planning future journeys. Reflect on the experience, gathering feedback to refine the experience and potentially plan additional pilgrimages or similar trips. Choose a name reflecting our pilgrimage-focused sailing business and our goals of faith, adventure, and spiritual growth. Sailing with St. Paul. Straightforward and specific, this name conveys the idea of following in St. Paul's footsteps through a sailing journey. Voyage of Faith emphasizes the spiritual nature of the journey, suggesting an exploration of faith and discovery. Pauline pilgrimages. Rooted in the term Pauline to reflect St. Paul's influence, it implies a series of pilgrimages based on his journeys. The Apostles' Wake, a unique and memorable name, suggesting the travelers are following in the wake or path of the Apostle Paul across the seas.